So I was at my in-laws for Easter Sunday, and they showed me this piece of paper that's behind me, the 3 days of darkness. And this was a prediction by Padre Pio. Now, if you're not a Catholic, this probably is not something that would intrigue you, but stick around because some of the stuff he details in his writings is scary AF. Now, he was an Italian priest that was known for his humility, right? His piety and charity. And he was born in 1887 and he died in 1968, September 23rd, 1968. One of his quotes says, "I only went to be a poor friar who prays." And he was a holy man. You know, most Catholic priests, they have to go into a life of commitment to God and they live a holy life. Now, we know that with all the stuff that the Catholic Church has done, they're not innocent. And so is a lot of other religions are not innocent. But I want to get to the point of the paper in a minute. I just want you to know who he is. This is him. I was truly concerned of why my in-laws had this paper waiting for me on Easter Sunday. I think it's because over the past year, I have scolded them about watching the mainstream news and understanding that CNN and all these mainstream news that they watch is bad and it's not good for them. And so they wanted to fill me in that they probably already know better than me. They are in their 80s after all. And so listen to the first paragraph of what Father Pio wrote. Now, he has borne the stigma for over 50 years, I guess, for this. He's a Capuchin priest, and this is what he said. "How unconcerned men are concerning these things, which shall come unto them contrary to all expectations. How indifferent they are in preparing themselves for these unheard events through which they will soon have to pass." He says, "When the angel of death with the avenging sword of justice shall begin to mow down, and hell in uproar and rage shall cast itself upon the just to destroy you with their frightening terrors, then it is your faith and confidence in me must be firm as a rock. I will protect you. I will give you a warning, which will indicate the beginning of my threatening judgment." He continues, "On a cold winter night, this catastrophe shall come upon the earth like a flash of lightning, at which moment the light of the morning sun shall be replaced by black darkness. No one shall leave the house or look out of a window." Then he says, "From that moment, I myself shall appear mist, thunder, and lightning. The wicked shall behold my divine heart. There shall be great confusion because of this utter darkness in which the entire world shall be enveloped, and many, many shall die from fear and despair. Those who shall fight for my cause shall receive grace from my divine heart. The cry, who is like unto God, shall serve as a means of protection to many. Many, however, shall burn in the open fields like grass." He continues. It says, Talk to no one outside the house. Those who disregard this advice will be killed immediately. The darkness shall last a day and a night, followed by another day and a night, and yet another day. But on the following night, the stars shall shine again, and on the next morning, the sun shall rise again. So that sounds like 2 full nights and another day almost. Now remember, I'm reading from this article my in-laws gave me, which I thought was sinister AF, and I was wondering why they had this and why they gave this to me now. He says here that, "Then shall my elect not sleep as did the disciples in the Garden of Olives." He's talking about Jesus on that fateful night of him, being taken away. He says, "Do not sleep," right? Try to stay up, be on alert. "They shall pray incessantly, and they shall not disappoint in me. They shall not be disappointed in me. Sorry. I shall gather my elect. Hell will believe itself in possession of the entire earth, but I shall reclaim it. Do you perhaps think that I would permit my Father to have such terrible chastisement come upon the world if it would turn from iniquity to justice? But because of my love, these afflictions shall be permitted to come upon men, and although many shall curse, yet thousands of souls shall be saved through them. No human understanding can fathom the depth of my love. Pray, pray, I desire prayers. My love for men is very great, especially for those who give themselves entirely to me. Pray and make reparation to me. Admonish others to do the same because they have not heeded my graces. Persevere so that your adversary shall not have dominion over you. Tell them to be prepared at all times, for my judgment shall come upon them suddenly. And when I cast expectedly, and no one shall escape my hands, I shall find them all. Now, I'm going to continue reading because he tells you how to survive this. Now he says, tell them to be prepared at all times, for my judgment shall come upon them suddenly, and when least expected. No one shall escape my hands, and I shall find them. I shall protect the just. Watch the sun and the stars of the heavens. When they appear to be unduly disturbed and restless, know that the day is not far off. Stay united in prayer and watching until the angel of destruction has passed your doors. Pray that these days will be shortened. Wickedness has reached its climax, and the punishment can no longer be delayed. Tell men that the time has come in which these things shall be fulfilled. Pray, make reparation, be fervent, practice mortification. If you don't know what mortification is, which I always look up words if I'm kind of second guessing, it just means be able to understand that you're going to go without. Practice being without. It's like not worrying about your video games, not worrying about, watching television, or you're missing certain foods or whatever. Just practice that kind of humility, that mortification of being able to live without and live simply, right? I think a lot of people who have already had to live very poor will be able to withstand what's coming. And maybe that's what the Bible means by the meek shall inherit the earth. People who have had to live without and are living on barely anything anyway kind of know how to get through this. It's like the people who have no humility, people who can't live without their phone. These people aren't going to survive this apocalypse, is what he's saying. All right, whether you believe it or not. Now let's continue. He says, great things are at stake. I, or your adversary, the devil, the measure of, I think I got this cut off, is filled. The day of revenge with its terrifying happenings is nearer than you imagine. As the world is sleeping in false security, the divine judgment shall strike them like a thunderbolt. The godless and wicked people shall be destroyed without mercy. Keep your windows covered. He keeps talking about your windows and not looking outside, right? And I find that to be an indicator that looking out, and it's almost like, remember Sodom and Gomorrah story where she turned back and she turned into a pillar of salt. I think that's where he's going with this. It's like the people looking out, thinking something other than what God has already prepared you for. They're not going to survive. It says, do not look out. Continuing, light a blessed candle, one which will make suffice for the day. Pray the rosary, read spiritual books, and make acts of spiritual communion. Father Pio continues with this very dark, sinister text, right? He says, also acts of love, which are so pleasing to me. Pray with outstretched arms or prostrate on the floor. I think I guess the Muslim community, the Arab community, they prostrate on the floor. They lay forward facing, I don't know if it's the east or west. I'm not Muslim, but this is what he says to do, guys. All right. Prostrate on the floor in order that many souls will be saved. Do not go outside the house. He keeps stressing this. Do not go outside the house. Provide yourself with sufficient food. The powers of nature shall be moved, and a rain of fire shall make people tremble for fear. Have courage. I am in the midst of you. Take care of the animals during these days. I love that, Father Pio. Yes, there's people that have cats and dogs. He's saying, don't worry, your animals are going to be safe. He says here, take care of the animals during these days. I shall give you a few signs beforehand, at which time place some food before them. I will preserve the property of the elect, which include the animals. So your animals will make it through this quote unquote hell day, apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. For the just shall be in need of sustenance afterwards as well. Let no one go across the yard to feed the animals. He who steps outside shall perish. Cover your windows carefully. I mean, how many times in this article has he said, cover your windows carefully? My elect shall not see my wrath. Have confidence in me, and I will protect you. Your confidence honors me and obliges me to come. I will protect you. I will have to finish this in a part 2 because it got cut off and I need to find the rest of it. But what do you guys think about these doomsday prophecies? I will finish this in my YouTube videos.